Hey guys, it's Mackenzie McKee here from the show of Teen Mom OG, and you are watching the Domenick Natty Show.
How is your relationship with John? And are you guys considering getting a divorce?
Um, you know what? If I could go through a divorce with anyone on this world, it would be Josh. I know that is the weirdest thing that I could ever say, but when it came to the end and we kind of had to look at each other and say, we destroyed this marriage together, and I had to take full accountability for doing just as much as he did to destroy the marriage. It was like a switch that happened, and we're like, we have kids and they deserve the best of us. So now we're best friends. I know it's weird, and I also am fully aware that if I get in a relationship and he gets in a relationship, we're gonna have to respect that. I think it's a very odd dynamic that people are seeing because we're together every day. It just kind of like happened that we're together every day. We're best friends. We're getting along better than ever. And I'm going through, this healing process of grieving, and life didn't exactly turn out the way that I would have wanted it. But that's, we're best friends. I just kind of had to stop worrying about it, and with my faith, give it to God. And every day I'm like, you know what? I truly believe that you shouldn't chase after anything or stress about anything, because if it's meant to be, it's gonna happen. And if it's not, like if I'm not meant to be with Josh, then we're gonna go through a smooth, peaceful divorce. But he has just, when we wanted to go through a mediator, he's like, I want you and the kids to be set up. I want you to have everything. I don't want to take anything. It's all yours. I'll start brand new. I want you guys to be happy. And I have several friends going through divorces right now, and that's not how it is with them. So I'm very thankful for how he is being through this time.
So, what is the status now? Are you guys living in the same house, or are you separate?
No, we are not in the same house. We do have the same house, but he also has a house that he is working on in another town. But he does the yard work and he helps out, because I'm like very business savvy right now. I'm working on a lot. And I'm all around all day, and he's always kind of there. Like if I need him to do this to the house or do yard work or watch the kids, and so we do kind of use each other a lot. Still just co-parenting, but it's like, like I said, the dynamic, it doesn't make sense. And I think a lot of people are asking, you see on my social media, what's the story? What's the story? I don't even know how to explain the story to you guys because it doesn't make sense to me. All I know is, you guys saw on the show that I filed and he did not want to sign the papers. And so the papers still are not signed. We do not have our rings on. And we are free. If he wants to go be with someone, then he has the freedom to go do that.
Are you leaning towards that you would like things to work out in your marriage with Josh, or that you would rather move on?
Definitely rather move on, and that is not the story for him. It was kind of like, in the end, I was like, okay, I'm done. Let's move on. Let's do this. And then he was kind of showing like, I 100% don't want this. I know like we've done wrong things to each other. And I kind of always thought, like, cause I always held the fort down. I'm very strong willed, and it was always me fighting for everything to work out. And so I kind of always felt like once I let him go and stop stressing about our marriage being perfect, then he's such an easy and laid back person. He's just going to be gone and never think about me again. That's truly what I always believed, which is weird. And if you guys believe that, then let them go, because you should never have to fight for anything. And then when I did, and he saw that, like he saw I was ready, I was done, I was ready to move on. I was the one who went and filed and brought him the papers and moved him out. All of a sudden it was like, nope, I want you. Like, you are who I want. And so it kind of like, that was very frustrating to me. And so the tables just really turned. That was like a switch that happened. And so that's kind of where we are now. It was like, oh, I'm finally seeing that, yeah, he does love me. He does want to change. He does want to work this out, but I did have to stay off the internet with our business. I am guilty of over exaggerating about a lot, of just running to the internet before knowing the story. And thankfully, he never went to the internet, because if Josh went to the internet the way I went to the internet and shared things about me, I would probably be in a lot of trouble. So that was kind of like a good learning lesson for me, to stop running to the internet. And because I have fire in my own hands, and he does have the power to destroy me in the way I destroyed his name. So from here, I just want things to be healthy. My kids are getting to an age where they're going to read the internet one day. They're going to see things one day, and I don't want that for them. They love their dad. And when he moved out, I saw pain in them. Um, and that hurt me. Like, where's my dad? Like, you aren't going to get me a new dad. He's not going to get me a new mom, right? And if you were to ask the kids what they want, they would want us together. Because those are my happiest moments in life, is me and Josh together, laughing with the kids and laughing at the kids. And that's a big part of us that MTV doesn't show.
Right. So what did that mean exactly when you say ran to the internet? So basically, you exposed dirt on him, and he didn't expose dirt on you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, he's actually never exposed anything on me ever. And he could have, especially when I was running to the internet for him in this last scandal. I kind of, well, looking back and reading I did not say the things that, how it came out on the internet was not how it was. And it kind of destroyed it. It almost made me feel like I could not work things out with my husband if I wanted to, because of what people think that went on. And I kind of feel like I am making myself look like an idiot at this point, and that's not what I want my storyline to be. I think everyone thinks Mackenzie is, wonderful, and Josh cheats and cheats and cheats and lies and does this, and she makes money and he doesn't, and she takes him back. She takes him back like an idiot, and that's not the storyline. That's not how it was. I have filmed several videos for YouTube, just kind of telling the truth from day one to now, and I just deleted it because I can't. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to continue to share my life on TV and be more open and honest. He doesn't care about TV or the internet or what people think, and that's why he doesn't go to it. And that's one mistake in my marriage that I wish I could go back and change, is thriving off the internet and caring about fame more than I cared about the health of our marriage.
So how many times did he cheat then? Because there's so many allegations, like, and there's, I mean, it does make it sound like this was something that happened, multiple times. I mean, how many times do you think that he did cheat?
The one that he admitted on TV.
Okay. So from your understanding, he has only cheated on you once.
From my understanding, yes.
Okay.
The
Do you
cousin situation, that is the most recent scandal. Um, I don't really know what to explain that. I don't. It wasn't what came out on the internet, and I did not say those things. But yes, and I think that it came out on the internet. So when we were married, when Bronx was a baby, I did get in a relationship with a man, and that was in 2017. And he caught me, and he left. And not only did he leave, but he gained full custody of the kids. And that is one thing that he did not care to go on the internet. But I know he was really angry. And one day he came home, and when he came home, like, I decided I was never going to do that again, because I saw the hurt, but he wasn't giving me what I needed in a man. So I went and found it in someone else. So when my mom got, and this was all off of TV because my story on OG is not like the other girls' story. Their cameras never left them. So for me, I did Teen Mom 3, and then the cameras left for many, many years. And then they came back. So when they left was when I did what I did. And then when they came back, was right after I found out he did what he did. And so that was when I filed for divorce and I was done. And that was when he decided, please come to counseling. He took me to the couples retreat. He did the reproposal. And I don't know, things just haven't been the same, I guess, for me since. And when I asked, I think the only way that I was able to forgive about that is because when I asked, why this doesn't make sense, why after 7 years of marriage, and he said, you literally were not, you wouldn't look at me, you cared about fame, you didn't care about us, there was no connection, there was no relationship between me and you. I'm not going to say what I did was okay, I was drunk, I was stupid, and it was a huge mistake, but I went and found what you were not giving me. And that's exactly what I remember doing to him 2 years prior, was you were not giving me what I wanted, so I went and found it in another person. So at the end, he was like, instead of going to the internet and making me look like crap on TV and on the internet, you have to realize that me and you destroyed this marriage together. I did not cheat on you more than you cheated on me. You had an affair on me, and we destroyed this marriage together. And so I guess that was kind of like a humbling experience for me to hear that, because I was like, okay, you're right. We destroyed this marriage together. Now we're here in the end. And because of everything I put on the internet, I don't even feel like we could work it out if we wanted to, because it makes me look stupid. It's embarrassing. So we're sad. Like, we're sad. That's my best friend. And Josh is all that I know. So I met him when I was 15 years old. I was a baby and we got pregnant. I had just turned 16. We got pregnant 3 months later. So there was no, do I love you? Is this who I want to marry? It was, we're having a baby. We're going to do it right. We're going to get married, and we're going to, and then I think that we got into this stage in life where we're like, whoa, we didn't even get to go experience. Maybe there's something out there that we wanted. And for me, going and seeking in other men, I found out real quick, this isn't what I want. And I think him too kind of like got in that stage in life, was we are all each other know. So at the end, after all this, it's like, that's not what I wanted. This sucks, but we hurt each other and we can't work it out if we want to. And we cry together about it. We're sad. We're sad that we're not together. But this is what, this is kind of where it is. That's all I know. That's all I've known for 12 years. I'm only 25 years old. I was done having kids at the age 21. 3 kids by 21. And it all started at 15. So do I think Josh is a cheater? No. Do I think I'm a cheater? No. Did I have an affair on him? Yes. Did he go do something stupid at a bar? Yes. But do I think he's a bad person? No.
Who cheated first? So you each cheated once, basically, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then,
That, yeah.
you only cheated once and he only cheated once? That's correct?
Yeah. In this marriage, yes.
In this marriage. Okay. And then who cheated first?
I guess that would be me.
Okay. So you were looking, you needed something, you were getting the attention you needed from him. So, and then how long were you with the person you cheated with? Was that a one night stand, or were you in a relationship with him?
It was a relationship, and so I guess we cheated in completely different ways, because Josh was like, I don't know you. Here's one night, I'm drunk. Bye. And with me, it was like a 6 month, maybe months. It was months. And it wasn't worth it to me. And I don't know. I think he doesn't speak about. I show my anger, like what I'm feeling. I show, and I tell him what I'm angry about. I tell him what I hate about him. I tell him what I love about him. He doesn't. If he was angry about that, he wouldn't say it. But I do think it. I do think he was angry for a long time, and that was kind of something that we talked about in counseling. But I really think like I just don't feel like the producers are Team Josh. When I watch the show, I feel like he looks 10 times worse than he is, and it makes me look stupid. But he also isn't unlike all the other dads on the show. He doesn't care about the show.
Yeah.
So people who meet him in real life or my friends are like, he loves you. He's a really good person, but he does not show that side that we see on TV. What I show on TV is who I am. If I'm feeling this way, I'm showing. I mean, when the cameras are around, they've become like family to me, and I just kind of act who I am. Josh completely shuts down. And I just wish, I tell him all the time, like, why don't you just be your natural self? And then sometimes I feel like some of the other people on the show want the world to think they're a good person, and so they kind of show a better version of themselves. But I do think that when I watch the show, I'm like, wow, Josh looks like a douchebag. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But
What are, I don't know if you're going to answer this, but what are you saying? There's a lot of things that he could have went online and on the internet and made you look bad. So, I mean, I guess I'm curious to like what that, I don't know how you could, if you would say, but what does that mean exactly? Like, what areas are those in that he could have exposed and chose not to?
um right now it's Josh is a cheater, Josh is a cheater, Josh is a cheater. And I think that he could have easily on the show or on the internet said, Mackenzie's a cheater, Mackenzie's a cheater, here's the proof, here's what happened. I think he could have easily said that, and he didn't. He did go on his Instagram after reading all this stuff about him, which he doesn't read anything, and say, before judging me, know the true story. And that's kind of all he said. And that could have went in several different directions. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I don't want on the internet.
Right. Yeah, it's a
But
tough question. Yeah. Yeah, I
it
understand.
is a very tough question, and that's kind of for the sake of my children. I'm like at a point in life where I kind of start needing to think about. But I will say, I don't think I've been a good wife. I had to figure out how to be a wife at the age of 18, and I was very heartless. If I could take back anything, it would be the way I acted when I got pregnant with him each time. I was very upset about it. I would tell him he ruined my life. And we talked about that on the show. And he was happy about it. And so he never got to enjoy a good pregnancy. And that, I think I really did hurt him and destroy him a lot with that, because he just wanted a family. He wanted a normal life, and I wanted fame. I wanted to be a famous fitness model, and I would push him away, and I was all about getting my name out there. I didn't care about Josh or his feelings. And then, like, it turned out on the internet, there was a rumor that I had a sex tape, and I completely 100% got set up with that. It had a manager I was working with, and he was humiliated. Who wants a rumor about their wife? And his family has had to see all this. His family has had to see a rumor about me having a sex tape and me destroying their son's name online. And I can only imagine, the damage that I have done to them. Even my family doesn't like it. They are Team Josh. They're like, why did you do the stuff that you did? So if I could go back, I would take all that back. But the whole sex tape thing, I was set up, and I was told that it was going to make my Christianity look good. I didn't even know what is the sex tape name that there was a picture of me standing in front of the sign that I was told was completely something else. And I was so stupid. I don't watch porn. Is it Vivio? Does that sound right?
Vivid Entertainment? Is it?
Vivid. Yes, there was a picture of me standing in front of that sign. And when that came out, I was set up when that came out, I think he literally wanted to just crawl in a dark hole and disappear forever. He was so embarrassed. That was his wife, and that was out there. None of it was true. And I was like, "Oh, Josh, shut up. Like, just get over it." And then years later, like, he brought that up in counseling. Like, this really hurt me. She was so heartless about situations like that. So I guess stuff like that.
Did you ever film a sex tape, or I mean, was it you ever? No. Okay,
No,
so
no, I wouldn't dare. And people still bring that up to this day. Like, I was so naive to the situation. And when it came out, like, the producer I was working with said, "No, people know you as a Christian, and now you're going to be a," this is what I was told, "you're going to make millions, and you're going to be a famous spokesperson and motivational speaker," something I've always wanted to do, for girls not to ever send boys, like their boyfriends, nude photos or anything. And I'm like, "Oh, I can make millions." And they're like, "Yeah, all you have to do is walk up and shake this guy's hand." And I walk up and shake this guy's hand, and next thing you know, the next day, my name was everywhere, all over the internet. And I curled up in my mom's arms, and I cried and I cried and I cried. My hometown's all this. And I'm like, "What's vivid? What's vivid? What's vivid? Is it that bad? Is vivid that bad?" And they're like, "Mackenzie, this is the, like, do you understand? There was no nude photo. There was no sex tape. I don't even send Josh nude photos." I like I just couldn't believe it. That's not what I stand for. That's not something I would ever do. And it was right after, like, Farrah had done her thing. So then people were like, "Oh, this has already been done." And it was just so humiliating. And I I couldn't imagine rumors like that about Josh. Like, he made a sex tape with some woman and it was out there, and him being like, "Oh, get over it." And, like, I put him through so, we put each other through so much.
what happened though? Like between Josh and your cousin, what exactly happened? Can we clear that up?
Yeah, so um we were not doing good for months and months and months. And that is another thing. I wouldn't say cheating, but I was on Tinder, and he found out. And um, I was making decisions that I shouldn't have been making, and I'm sorry to him for that. And one day he caught me doing something I shouldn't have been doing. Once again, I don't want to go into details. And he said, "I think it's time for us to be done." And we got in a big fight, and he left and moved out. And that's when I decided to check his phone records. So I checked his phone records, and I kept seeing the same number over and over again. So, and I did exaggerate about I went, after I checked it and seen this, I went straight to the internet. My heart, I was just devastated. So I posted this big thing on Facebook. Um, yeah. So during this time of roughness, he got obsessed with going fishing. And I knew he was going fishing because I do have my location set on my phone. A lot of nights I would go, a lot of nights Gannon would go, and a lot of nights my dad would go. Um, and we inherited my dad's old boat when my mom passed away. So he would load up the boat and then come home. And he was just obsessed with being away. But anytime we were together, I was screaming at him. I was bringing up the past. And then I was not being a good wife anyways. And it was kind of like we were under the same roof but not together. And at this point, it wasn't healthy. We were fighting. So when I saw that and I typed it in my phone and saw her name, my heart dropped. So she is a lot older than us. And obviously my cousin. So she does my hair. She's a hairdresser. She does all my family's hair. She's cut Josh's hair for years. We used to always hang out with her and her husband, who are not together anymore. She has a newborn baby. She's a single mom of 3. It just didn't make sense to me. Like, I'm like, what is going on? So instantly, I'm like, this is an affair. I'm writing a status. I'm destroying his name. I'm going to destroy her name. Obviously, this is an affair. And so I called her, and she showed up that night and was like, it's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. It's not what, I would never do that to you. And she was crying and saying, "I can't believe you're my baby cousin. I can't believe you think I would do that to you." And I'm like, well, then what is this? Like, it just didn't make sense. So I found out that So Josh has a brother that's a year older than him, and he works for him, and he has no house, no phone, no car, no money, but he does have drugs, and he's always been a druggie. Everyone knows that. She was going through Josh's phone to get a hold of Caleb to get, I'll just say the word anxiety medicine, because that's what she was saying illegally. And that was a secret Josh knew about, and his phone was being used to go back and forth. And I was furious. And she did show me the text messages, so I was reading the text messages. Um, and that's a secret they had behind my back, and to me that's not okay. But they were both like, okay, we're going to admit that we're wrong, but you need to stop having people think that we were sexually attracted to each other or we had a relationship, because it's not like that. So then I put that on the internet, and then I didn't even say, they touched or I caught this or that. But the next day, of course, it was on the internet that he's banging my cousin, and he's so.
So the relationship was, so who was supplying drugs to who? It was basically like your cousin and Josh. Like, how did, like, what was the status of that as far as drug distribution?
Um, I don't know, and I'm very disappointed because neither Josh or I do drugs, and it makes him so mad the way his brother lives. Like, he's always like, oh, he's got to get clean. He's got to, and whatever. People have their medical cards. It's marijuana. What? I don't care, but don't have a secret behind my back. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And also, she did know about our problems. So she would ask about us, and he would tell her that we're not doing good. And to me, that's not okay. So, um, do I think they touched? No, because I know her. Like, I don't think that he would be attracted to. It's not that I trust Josh, but I just don't think it would be her if he was touching someone. Um, but it was wrong. It was wrong, and it was not okay, and it hurt me a lot. But was it banging? No.
So are you saying that Josh was the middle person between his brother and your cousin for drug distribution?
That's what it seems like to me. But for when I try to say that to him, he says that business is between him and her. He would call her off of my phone, and that's their business, and it's not my business to talk about because it's illegal. Um, but to me, I'm like, it's wrong. Like, I'm not gonna say it wasn't wrong.
Okay.
It was, but and also, like, I do know that Josh's brother doesn't have a truck. So whose vehicle was Josh's brother? Josh's brother works for him. Josh owns his own drywall business, and his brother works for him. So do I think that they were using Josh's truck to drop anxiety medicine off at my cousin's house? Yes, I do. And I do know that she's cut his hair every 2 weeks for 5 years now. So I know some of the text messages were about that. Sometimes I would go because she waxes my eyebrows. Sometimes I wouldn't, but it just never, like, I don't know. It didn't seem like anything, but they keep telling me, like, it, the fact that you have on the internet that we were attracted to each other is just disgusting. It's just disgusting to me. But they both admitted they were wrong. Do I care to talk to her again? No, I don't. If I didn't have kids with Josh, would I care to talk to him after that? No, I wouldn't. It was, and then when I tried to talk to family members about that, like my sister and a woman who is like a mom to me, they were like, well, if they were sleeping together, then I would say you need to divorce him and boot him out and never speak to him again except through the kids. Do I think they were? No. Do I think that you were on Tinder talking to guys? Yeah. So I think you need to stay off the internet and so that's kind of, yeah.
What you said you were on Tinder at the time. So while you guys were still together, right? You were on Tinder. And what were you doing on Tinder? Like, were you hooking up with people? Um, I mean, what were you doing on Tinder?
I did not have sex with anyone. No, I
Okay.
did not.
Or just
No.
you're meeting people and having conversations, did you meet up with anyone?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. So that was just to meet people, that someone to talk to. Okay. And then, but you guys were still married under the same house while you were doing that. Okay. And then, how did he catch you? Like, did he just see it on your phone, or?
I actually got a message from someone on Tinder, and he got told by his friends that I had it, and so he created an account with a picture of his arm or something so I couldn't see the face, and messaged me basically to say you've been caught. So
Yeah. Now, I mean, you didn't put your name, your real name. I mean, obviously, you're very recognized. Did you? You were kind of use like a different name, and but real pictures of yourself, or?
yeah, just a different, well, I used a nickname that I have. I don't have it anymore just because um yeah, I use kind of like pictures where like kind of close up, a lot of makeup to where it doesn't just scream this is who this is. And guys are like stupider than girls. Like girls would know, but guys are like and none of them knew. None of them were like, "Oh, you're the girl on TV." So, um but now in life, like if Josh were to get a girlfriend tomorrow and get in a relationship, I am fully content because I've learned to love myself. And I've told him that I don't care. I want to be single for a very, very long time. I don't, it's not fair to me to get in a relationship right now because I just had 11 years of damage done to me. So it's just not like I need to fix myself and love myself and be single for a long time. And I never thought I would be content. I've never been alone. I've never been single. I've been with the same person for 12 years since I was a baby. And so
Yeah.
I never been, like I always felt like, oh, I'm losing Josh. I need to go find someone else. Oh, like I always kind of felt like I needed that. I needed that attention. I needed, and now I'm just so content and happy. I'm on medication. I'm in therapy. I'm working on a business. I'm moving. I'm, all this stuff. Um, I'm moving 18 hours away. Like I'm starting over and I'm just like so excited for life. And I do not want a relationship. I won't have one for a long time. Even if someone wants one, I do not want a relation. I want to stay single. I want to love myself and I want to give my kids a good life and make sure if I introduce anyone to my kids, they are the one. And I also want, like, I pray for Josh's future spouse. I pray for her. I pray we can be friends. I pray she's good to my kids. I pray she loves God. I pray that they can have a good, healthy relationship. And I never thought I would be at this point in life.
The last person you had sex with, was that Josh?
Yes.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know because it was very hard at the beginning when we decided like we're just friends, we're co-parenting, we've even been on vacations together. But at first, just hugging each other goodbye was devastating for us both. Like we could kind of feel that like this is who I feel comfortable around. This is who, and we'd hug, and it was like we couldn't let go. And there was a few times where we're like, well, legally we're married. Let's just, like, and then a part of me would be like, no, this is wrong. But I don't know. I don't know when the last time was, but I'm really, really trying to set those boundaries. But when you've loved someone and have been with them as a partner for 12 years, that's really, really hard to cut that off. Like, really, really hard and really challenging, especially when you know that you both do still love each other. It just can't work because of the damage that you two did.
Do you think it's been like a year since you guys have had sex?
Oh, definitely not a year.
Oh, not that long. Okay. Like 6 months, not that long.
Not even that long, no.
Okay. So it's been a few months. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how long ago did he move out of the house?
It was when the whole cousin thing went down.
Okay. Was that 3 months ago or?
Maybe 3 months ago. Yeah.
Do you think there is a chance of you and Josh getting back together?
Right now my heart is just so it's trying to grieve my mom. It's trying to be happy again. It's trying to fight through the depression and the anxiety. Right now my number one focus is being the best mom, healing, and my business. I really care about Body by Mac and where it goes and my Justice Nutrition life. And so I'm kind of just focusing on myself and seeing where it leads. Um, if he finds someone, then I'm going to 100% respect that and be happy for them and kind of see it as a sign from the universe that we don't belong. Um, and
Yeah.
that's that. Like, he does not determine my happiness anymore. He doesn't have that power over me anymore. And that feels kind of good. Do I think we need to give it a year or two? Yes. I don't know what's going to happen. We really have a hard time letting go of each other. There is that love there, and that's why I want to stay single, because it's not fair to a man right now, because my heart is with, like, I do love Josh, and I wouldn't want to be with a man if he still loved his ex-wife even though they're done. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fair.
Are you filming Teen Mom right now?
We're trying to do a lot of self-film stuff. MTV is very good about being safe and sanitary, and so they're just kind of trying to figure out how to move forward, because we definitely want to continue to share our lives. And so we're kind of in the process of that. And then there was a time where it was like getting better, and we thought that we could, and then Corona is getting worse. So I think every show across the board right now, everything is different and on hold, and it's not going to be a very good show if we self shoot it, because we're not going to grab a camera when the drama is going on. We're going to try to make ourselves look really good, so that's not going to make a very good reality show, let's be honest. um, but we are going to, when we can, in the safest way as possible. They care about our safety and their safety before the show. But we are trying to figure all that out.
Okay. So it seems like Janelle has been saying that Chelsea and Leah are fake. So do you agree that Chelsea and Leah are fake?
I No, I don't think that. Janelle's also called me thirsty. I think that she probably feels a little bit threatened right now because she's not on the show. I don't have a problem with Janelle. It makes me cringe when people comment on her body. I hate it. And I have stuck up for her a million times. I don't really care what bad things she has to say about me. I don't have a problem with her, but I don't think that she has the right. And we're all human and we're all more alike than we think, but she doesn't have the right to call people fake.
Which Teen Mom cast member is your least favorite?
Farrah,
Farrah.
definitely Farrah.
What is it about Farrah that you dislike?
She's mean. She is 100% mean and a bully, and is always trying to say, like, I get asked to be on a show. I say yes. I get asked to share my story, and my mom gets to share her story, which was the most beautiful part of it all, because she wanted to. She genuinely wanted to share love and spread love. And the next thing you know, Farrah is in interviews saying, I want to be her. And I'm just like, girl, like, she's mean. She is a genuinely mean person. And you do hear a lot of background stuff. So the crews that come in, they switch in and out, and they work with other girls, and sometimes they share information of what it was like working with them. And when I found out how rude Farrah was to the crew, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it's very hard to have respect for her.
What about Janelle? Do you have is that someone that you wouldn't want to be around?
When I met her was when I was working with Teen Mom 3, and it was during the Kiefer days. And so, um, I got a picture, like, we took a picture together, and it was fun, and like, she messaged me, and then all of a sudden there was a feud with her and all the Teen Mom 3 girls that I had nothing to do with, and she blocked us all and hated us all. And then this thing comes out where it's like, who's the thirstiest one on the show? And she said me, and it was just like, that's the only interaction. I've met her once, and she doesn't seem to be a fan of me, and that's okay.
How bad have the haters have been, and have you received any death threats?
Yeah, I mean, when someone doesn't agree with something you do, instead of being like, hey, like, I feel like this is wrong, it's like, you stupid, beep, 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 go kill yourself. The world wouldn't miss you. It's just so vulgar, but usually those people are ones who do not have a profile picture, has 2 followers, and just someone fake out, just these keyboard warriors. And at 16 and pregnant, when I first started reading stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, this is devastating. I couldn't sleep at night. And then I realized, like, Macy Bookout did a interview with us Team Mom 3 girls, and she was like, listen to me, girls. Do not read the internet. It's the best advice I could give you. You be unbothered and do not read the internet. And so throughout the years, I definitely took that to heart, and I don't read the internet. Sometimes people come to me with stuff that's about me on the internet that I didn't even know about, and I don't care to hear about it. Like, people will send it to me. I don't click on anything about me and read it. I don't sit and read comments. And sometimes, like, my true fans will be a little upset, like, why don't you comment back? Why don't you go through your messages? And it's because, for my own sanity and mental health, I cannot sit and read these comments for the hate. But when I do see it, I just brush it off my shoulder, because no one who is genuinely happy or successful in life sits on the internet and hates on people. And so I just kind of think, like, they're going through stuff themselves. So why be bothered? Why should I care at all?
Right. But you did get people. What did they say, that they were wanting to kill you, or they told you to kill yourself, or both?
Kill myself. I've never really had someone who. I actually had one really scary thing happen to me. It's kind of hard to talk about because sometimes I cry about it. But other than that, um, I've only been told to kill myself, which I probably all of us Teen Mom girls have.
And what about the guys? Are there a lot of guys that flirt with you and send you dick pics, stuff like that? Yeah. How often does it happen to you?
I just anytime it's mainly Snap, and anytime I just block, 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 and I'm like, these guys are just so disgusting. Like, I've learned that guys are really just gross people.